Hey guys, thought I'd do a little video on what I bring along with me when we're out crawling for my toolkit, spares and whatnot, and break fix stuff. Um, but recently, just yesterday, I went to Mississauga Sea Park and had an aha new learning moment when, and I'll pop a video here, when I was taking the ascent out and literally pulled it out of the back of my trunk, and the right suspension shock tower was flopping loose, as well as the link arm for the servo, the steering servo. So it literally had rattled, I guess, finally rattled apart in the travels up. Anyway, so when I dropped, I also dropped a screw in the grass, and I thought, oh geez, where's my magnet? I'm like, right, okay, don't have one. So I immediately came home, and that's what I did. Was first and foremost, grabbed a pair of strong magnets. These guys here simply could just take it and move it along the area. Most of the screws are all magnetic that we use, so thought that would be an easy grab. But then I also thought, hey, and I've done this with my other kits here in my workshop, is gluing one of them to the inside lid, so that, you know, we've seen this many times. We're out in the dark during a night crawl, or even in the day, and you're dropping screws everywhere, and you drop maybe the only screw you have in the grass or in the dirt. So when you're messing around, you can actually just drop them on this, so that they all stick to it. So you take them with a bag, and you're playing around with bits and pieces, you drop them onto this guy and it will stick to it. It's very strong. Anyway, so I just recently made those additions. They will now be part of my kit. But very quickly, just going through some of the other key things I have, and let me know in the comments if you think I'm missing anything. So an elastic, sort of emergency, one of the stronger elastics, just in case you need to, something breaks, and the only option is to hold that together with the elastic. Just notice it's got a bit of a break in it, so that's on its way out. Time for another one. This was actually from one of our earlier crawls. One of the other gents had his Traxxas breakdown. I think it's a Traxxas. And, you know, it had widened out the hole. So I had gotten a number of self-tapping M3s, a little bit wider than M3s. So in that event where you sort of needed emergency, you know, situation, just various lengths of self-tapping screws, I've got those. I've also got many sorts, different sorts of both bolts and nuts as self-locking washers, as well as spacers. And that was just, I noted in my a video here, or whatever, I'll post it here, but that I had the wrong length at Mississauga Sea of the bolt, and luckily I had this, it's right here, this aluminum spacer right here, so that I was actually able to get that guy. That's like a M3 by 30. Get that guy to hold the shock tower in place. So always have a few spacers, as well as, if you can, as many different sizes of bolts as you can. Servo horns, bring those as well. I get some larger size, like M4s, nuts, as well as drive shaft locking pins, as well as a spare drive shaft. So, you know, those guys can fall out and strand you out in the trail. So spare drive shaft, spare batteries. These are actually for my G7P, so I don't really need them, because I now use this guy, the Mias, which actually has an 18650 in it, which leads me to my next piece, is having a spare 18650 with me. Because these batteries carry a lot of energy in them, I mark off the positive terminal with some electrical tape, so you can easily arc these guys in your packaging, when you, especially if you have wires in there and whatnot. So be really careful with that. Don't just leave a battery sitting raw in there. Various different screw drivers, or hex drivers. I actually custom modeled these guys here, 6mm end. Just makes for a quick fix. You can download them. I've linked my Maker World account in the description, so you can download and print those if you have a printer. Of course, standard El Cheapo hex driver kit with the standard sizes in there. Nut drivers for the wheels. I don't know why I have two, but I think I just got these, that's why I have them. Clips. This doesn't need it anymore, but for my capper it does. Spare servo for steering, because we know how often we blow those things. A spare receiver as well. I do have, just a side note, I do have a Mias, as I mentioned, but you'll notice that if you really dig in online, the Mias transmitters and the hot RC transmitters, they're basically the same thing. They're just colored different with a few different features here and there. Well, I took a gamble, and the hot RC receivers, which are cheaper than the Mias ones, they work fine. Honestly, I think they're the same thing, just a different sticker on the top. So I now buy hot RC receivers for my Mias, and all my rigs have these in them. So I'm happy with those. And just some spare servo wires, as well as zip ties. They're a must-have. I printed some of my shock tower, whatever the hell you want to call these, keepers, if you want to call them that, because these things pop off. So I printed some extra ones for my, I think the back shocks mostly are the ones that seem to flop loose or flop out sometimes. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's what I bring with me every time we go crawling, and it's served me well so far. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys.